Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here, time for another addition to the Boom Beach Playbook. Today we're going to be doing Conifold, we're going to be doing Conifold 2.0 on the core rush. We're going to be using a brick with battle orders. Let's boom this beach! So, BVD is going to be helping us out with this one. He's got a Sticks account at the moment. Obviously his Chinese friend has given him this one. So let's have a look at it. First things first, we want to be clearing out this boom mine. I'm going to let it play all the way through without pausing. Try not to move the screen too much so that you can count all your smokes, and you can come back and watch this whenever you please. You see the flare point there, and the path. Path is always key. The main idea behind this mid flare point is that the hero is not going to get too far ahead, and we can continue to take brick up there without it getting too far ahead of the Zookas. So flares into the standard boom cannon slot or split there, and there we go, just hammering the core. Look at that damage. So great attack from BVD, very close to the takedown, great hit, and I think we need to pull this one apart to look at that path. So let's have a look. The standard path is normally, sometimes there's on mines to the left, just underneath these rocket launchers, and we need to clear those, and we normally do a flare on this wall above this rocket launcher, and then we'll correct over into the boom cannon crack. So first thing you saw that he did was clear this shock mine, and the main reason we want to do that is you can see that splash damage area for that shock mine. Not only that, it's going to shock, if Brick gets out there, she's not going to be able to do her battle orders, and if she does trigger, or if one of the other Zookas does trigger it, then there's a whole bunch of Zookas that are going to be firing on the core, which is obviously not what we want. So first thing that we want to do, the beach is cold, or it's not hot, so we can flag land, and we're using this power cell for all the Zookas are going to be targeting that power cell, or the machine gun if it's in range. And we're just going to be using a smoke. So we want to flag nice and high to the right of the power cell, not so far right that we're going to be triggering these boom mines. So sort of 3 o'clock at that power cell screen orientation. Then this flare needs to be right on that corner. So it's sort of between the mortar and the boom cannons, and you can see that it's right on that line. You can see the line basically going from this boom cannon to the flare. That's where it needs to be, basically. And then our troops are going to be walking up. You want to flag land all 9 boats, so it's 8 boats of Zookas and 1 boat of Hero. And just watch. I think this is the biggest point about this playbook videos, is that you need to watch the path that they take. If you use the exact same flare, they'll walk exactly the same way every time, assuming that there's defenses and everything else exactly the same. Or if they're not too different, sometimes an extra defense will ruin your day. So then we flare up to the next spot. Obviously you want to make sure that Brick stops but the Zookas don't, so you want the Zookas to keep moving. So as soon as Zookas are starting to catch up with Brick, you want to flare up, and we're going to be using that standard flare on the wall or just to the right. As BVD's done here is fine, because we're off to the right of the core. All the Zookas are going to skim along the left, but not too far right off the wall. Basically that's as far off the wall you can get. One thing that I have noticed that some people have issue with this top flare is that they might be tapping out of bounds, and it sort of ruins their timing a little bit when they get the out of bounds message. Just play through it, it's a bit of practice, try and get the right spot. So there we go. We want to throw our smokes. We're getting further and further to the back of the map now, so we're going to throw our smokes nice and early. We can see that flare point now between this mortar and this boom cannon. It's right on that corner as the line goes from vertical to sort of 45 degrees to the right. That's our flare point right there. So now we're moving on up. Get that smokes out nice and advanced way ahead, and see that Brick probably would have set off that shock miner, wouldn't have triggered any, wouldn't have splashed into any of the Zookas, because the Zookas were a little bit further behind. But if Brick is shocked, then she's not going to be able to do her battle orders, and that's what this attack is basically for, is getting Brick there so that you can use battle orders. From there, it kind of depends on the layout that you've got. Where you're going to have to shock the 2 rocket launchers, the shock launcher. If you do need to shock whatever is in the sniper position, you can use this smudge on the ground to shock the rocket launcher and whatever is in that sniper position, but today we don't need to worry about it. We're going to have to use a few critters because there's a ton of rocket launchers around. These ones aren't going to be fully in the dead zone. So let's see what BVD does. He flares the core, gets a little bit of a spread, and then he throws some critters and shocks. So he's throwing critters in here, which will distract these rocket launchers, the one below, mainly this one and these two. And then he's had to shock these 2 and this one and 1. So it's another reason, like semi-hard shock. This rocket launcher on its own is going to need to be shocked. And these ones that are in the dead zone, the critters might be in the dead zone here as well, so he shocked those. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks, 1 critter, and he's already thrown the next box of critters. They're on their way, because their flamethrowers and rocket launchers are just going to decimate them, and that's going to give us a bit more coverage there. So just hammering down the core. Battle orders are still active, still going, and there we go. Great hit from BVD. This one had just over 1.8 mil, so he did a lot of damage, probably 1.6 mil I would, at a rough guess. Great hit from BVD. Be sure to comment down below how you normally take on Conifold, if it's any different from this, or if you're going to be planning on using that flare point from now on. Let's have one last look at it as the flare comes in, mainly is what I'm looking for. So we're going to have to clear that top shock mine, going to have to clear any mines down here, and then we're going to be flaring, flag landing, sorry, and smoking. As soon as they're nearly grouped, that's when we can throw this flare, and you see that flare point right there. This is right on that corner. You can throw it a little bit before that they're all gathered, because they're all going to sort of kink off to the right anyway, and that will work out fine. But you definitely don't want to lose too many to the machine guns around here, so you need to get those flares out quick and get all your smokes all nice. So that's going to do it. Be sure to check out these videos before you hit. They should help you out a lot. And as I said, comment down below if you take it out any differently, or if this is going to change your the way that you take out Conifold. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach. Boom!